human beings is money. Okay, that's it. That's the ambrosia. So we've got to figure out, we've got to get rid of every form, every incarnation, every manifestation of money. Okay, and there's a lot of sundry forms of it out there, right? There's Bitcoin and there's gold and silver, anything that is extremely fungible. And not to mention just pure, good old fashioned money, the exemplification of all the things you could ever dream of, right? All the material possessions, the treasure chest, the classic treasure chest that's brimming over with gems and gold and silver doubloons, et cetera, right? So it'll buy you that pure money. It's my pretty. It's just the pure, hard cash, right? Money. That's what everybody wants, right? Duh. And that's what the society runs on. So we are completely marinated in madness. Our values are just screwed up from birth. We're taught that it all makes sense somehow. It's common sense. It's practical. You're pragmatic if you value money. After all, that's how we define success. If you make gobs of dough and you do it legitimately, then you're successful. And that's always good. Who would ever argue with you? Oh, losers would argue with you. Okay, losers like Tesla, maybe. People say, oh, well, Westinghouse stole his ideas and that's why he died a pauper and all this, because you ever think that maybe Tesla was evolved and he didn't give a crap? That you couldn't stop guys like Tesla from inventing money? You think you give a guy with that kind of intelligence? You think that he gives a You think he gives a flying F about money? You think I do? I'm disgusted. I disdain. I detest. I despise. I hate money. And I also love money. Nobody's going to be able to call me a liar or a hypocrite. I'm confessing. I'm admitting. But I love it as little as possible. And I long for the day when there is absolutely no form of money on the face of this earth. And that day is coming. That's the world of tomorrow to get ready for. Figure it out. If every other creature on the face of the earth wants nothing to do with the stuff, has no regard for any value of the stuff, would rather have a bite of even its worst food, worst desired food, not to mention its favorite food, over $10 billion trillion, okay, but every single human on the face of the earth would take the money rather than to gouge on a 3-4 course meal of their favorite food. Every one of us would take the money. You think there's something not wrong with this picture? You think there's something that am I revealing to you, exposing to you the power of this substance? We think, oh, it's just a tool. It's innocuous. It's just money. You just don't make a big deal out of it. Just comply, conform, accept, capitulate. It all makes sense somehow. Be pragmatic. You lack common sense. That's because you're a loser. You're trying to cop out and find excuse. No. With each passing day, I'm more and more convinced I'm on the right track. I believe in riches, wealth, and prosperity. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I do. From God's point of view. From God's vantage point. This earth belongs to God. None of us created the earth. Each one of us, all creation, all the flora and fauna, the freaking universe and everything contained therein, for that matter, belongs to God. I'm logical. I'm intellectual. I'm reasonable. I like things that make sense. So God's a good guy, and you can't be both good and bad. He's always good. Not responsible for anything bad that's ever happened in history or in the future or today. And he says, hey, this is my planet. It belongs to all of you. Share it. Get along. What makes sense? God is our parents. Do you understand? That's our mother and our father. Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Heavenly Father. Okay? They work in concert. These are our divine parents, and we should be very glad these are good people. And they understand the great duress we're all under. And we can turn to them for comfort and solace and encouragement to carry on, the strength, the wherewithal, and to confront evildoers and to show, hey, we've got to parent them. We've got to be like our parents and parent them. Because what we've got essentially is snot-nosed, spoiled, bratty children running the show, telling us how it's going to be, and they're out of control. They're power drunk, and they need to be put in their place. They need to be disciplined. They need to be told, go to your room. And that day is coming. And only God can give us the power, empower us with the knowledge, pull us out of Babylon, and tell us, look, you're equal, and you have a responsibility. You don't just have a right to speak truth to power and everybody else will listen. You've got a duty, because if you don't, guess what? Those people, everyone that winds up in hell that you had a chance to reach and you didn't, their blood is on your hands and your head. That's the price you pay. We're all stuck between a rock and a hard spot. There's no easy out. None of us get to skate. We're all going to be held accountable, and in our right mind, we want to be. We want to be good kids. We want to be accountable. We want to be good. Do you understand? We want our parents to be pleased with us. That's what makes sense. That's practical. That's pragmatic on a divine level. One that shows we care about our eternal salvation, not just this ephemeral, temporary scene. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's like a dream, for crying out loud. We all know from a very young age, you live and you die. I mean, that's it. Well, at least the body. See, I don't believe in death in the way that so many people think of it and speak of it. It's the death of the body, but the body is like a machine. God can raise it up and give you a new body like falling off a log. I mean, it's like, how hard was it to make love to my wife and make my daughters? It was quite enjoyable, let me tell you. Very enjoyable. So that's the way God could give you a new body. He has the ways and means. He's the owner, the creator, the sovereign. Do you understand? That's it. And he says, this planet is mine. All those resources are everybody's. Share them. So, I mean, what would be better than a Tobin tax on Wall Street? Because after all, they're just taking these resources. They just seize them, right? Well, we bought them. You know what? Yeah, you bought the land from the Indians, right? And there was no massacres, right? And it all makes sense in the scheme of things, right? You know what? I mean, it doesn't, my friends. And I'm just trying to be, alter your paradigm now, whether you got a small window of opportunity. Get ready for the world of tomorrow. Prepare yourself for some catastrophic, cataclysmic event, because that's apparently what it's going to take to jar people out of their slumber. Like Jesus said, he said it's going to be like in the days of Noah. People thought everything was just going to go on like this forever, and guys like me were just chicken littles and crying the sky is falling, and we were just, fear mongers and alarmists and all this crap. And then it came. But I'm feeling it, man. I just look, what's it going to take? You tell me. If we can't learn from history what happens when things get too oppressive on people, when people are too outraged, when they can't sleep at night because of conscience, they can't enjoy their lives. They feel very, like myself, they feel very fortunate, very lucky. They've got a good life, and they can't understand why they can't enjoy it. Because I got better men than me, better men and women than me, dying out in the cold. And I can't enjoy my stinking little life. Like Jesus said, whatsoever we do or fail to do for the least of these, we do or fail to do for him. Of course our conscience isn't going to leave us alone. This is it, man. How far are we going to let these evildoers get before we put our foot down? We're in a lot of trouble. We're down this demonic rabbit hole toward hell a long way. This ship of fools, in my estimation, is already on the rocks, but a lot of people haven't figured that out. This bandwagon of death and destruction is on the highway to hell. And we're all on it. And the only way you can jump off it is in your heart and mind, your spirit, your soul, intellectually. But all of us are physically stuck on it. So we're trapped. We're all stuck here. And we can only turn to God for the help to carry on and contend and to cope with what's about to come on this earth. I was just listening to Steve Quayle recently. I mean, he's predicting that that half of California, the western half, is going to basically end up and down the state, up and down the Pacific coast, are basically going to be inundated with a 500-foot tsunami. He's predicting it's going to change the face of the whole planet extremely